I mean, it's interesting. So we're talking about sampling. And so like in the 80s, we were sampling James Brown, right? I mean, that was 25, 30 years prior to that. And so by sampling it, we were respecting it. We showed our love and appreciation for it, but we were not trying to be James Brown. Like we were ourselves. And so the music that we did 25, 30 years ago is to these young cats the way, you know, James Brown was to me. And it took me a minute to really fully understand that. And so to expect people to be on what you were on 20, 30 years ago, like, no, like you got to give, and part of it is having kids as well and listening, you know, knowing what they listen to. They got to have things that speak to them, that's their own identity that they created, they put hands on and reflects their experience. They have to create that the same way I had to create that. But as long as they're respecting what came before them, the same way we, through sampling and what have you, and learning, respected what became before us, then that love is there. So to me, that's the foundation for it. Is that, you know, respect and giving people their space, and understanding that you got to have a space to create, and you don't need me looking over your shoulder and telling you need to do this, and oh, you didn't do this, and you should have done that, and you weren't true to this. Like chill with that for a little bit and give people room the same way we were given room to create and make mistakes and grow and do all the things that we did to create the culture inside of the 80s or what have you. Give young people the chance to do that now. But at the same time, when they come for some guidance, they come for, you know, you're there for them. And you can, if they ask, answer. If they don't ask, show. And maybe they'll ask at another point in time, you know. But if they're not asking, you don't have to stop teaching, stop lecturing all the time. It's something I had to learn, because I can be a judgmental person. So I had to learn, like, you know, just shut up for a minute and just give people their space. And then, and like I said, a lot of the things that made me want to start creating again were some of these young cats who without saying it, I could tell that they appreciated the music that came, you know, like hearing J. Cole with Gangstar on the project last year. Before that happened, you knew that he had an appreciation for that, just from listening to how he rhymes, what he rhymes about, who he is, what he's on. Like, he's the reincarnation of some of those cats. And so recognizing these young cats who basically are like new souls of these old souls who are still walking around, you know, kind of made me want to get back in the game. And, you know, and so, you know, it's a two-way street. Like, you hear the young cats, you learn from the young cats, and they give you that energy, and vice versa. So much of me wanting to rhyme was I mean, for me, growing up in the suburbs, a lot of it was being in touch with my identity as a Black man was one of the reasons that hip hop was such a draw to me, right? And then the writing aspect of it, like I said, I was really into poetry. I was really and so I used to like read James Baldwin and Hakeem Adabudi and Amiri Baraka and like people like Sonia Sanchez. And the power of the way the word can just change your life. Like someone's writing can make you see something a completely different way. The autobiography of Malcolm X changed my life. And so all I'm doing as an MC is writing as well. And so not that I'm going to have that effect, but you will have an effect. And the purpose, and that should be your purpose. Like Amiri Baraka used to say, we don't do art for art's sake. We do art for people's sake. So art for the sake of the people, art for the sake of culture. And that's the reason why you're doing what it is that you're doing. That's the reason that in my mind, that you're rhyming. It's not just about, and don't get me wrong, I love the battle rhymes like the next man, but it's not just about the ego. It's not just about, and even that is, you know, I battle in terms of trying to show my intelligence and try to, so it's always got to have some kind of message, some kind of purpose to it. It doesn't have to always be preachy, but it's got to have a purpose to it.
Honestly, man, it's so many people, to be honest, from family members to people in the community to people in hip hop. I mean, I learn from kids nowadays, because they keep me young. But, I learn from OGs. I pretty much learn from anything that I can learn from people or experiences or whatever. You know? I think the world is there for you to learn. So yeah, I hate to sound like Yoda or something like that, but that's how it is, you know. That's how I receive it, you know. Like you can learn from anything, you know. But yeah, family members and people in the community and stuff like that, definitely. But hip hop was my teacher though for a long time. You know, like I said, they got me out of trouble and stuff like that. So I studied hip hop. You know, listening to like KRS-One and Rakim and PE. Like I really got to what they were saying. I really paid attention to what was going on. Like those lyrics are very strong to this day, 2020. Those lyrics are like on point. You know, I go back to listen to PE right now, and it's like, man, they're talking about what's going on right now. You know? So I mean, that's what I learned from. Hip hop was my teacher. I guess that was my biggest mentor. Hip hop. Yeah. To me personally, it just comes to the people, you know, because I get daily reminders of people telling me from all over the world. Like it could be from South America or Europe, and they're like, man, I've been listening to you for like 20 years. And he's like, yo, since I've been in high school. And it's like, man, you know, this guy's like 40 or something. It's like, it's amazing to me that some kid from Chicago that grew up in Pilsen or Little Village or Logan Square, and then you got my music reached the world, you know? And there was people that from other continents listening to Chicago music. And like Cap D said, we didn't have an industry here. So for people to listen to our records, it's amazing to me, you know, and I get daily reminders through social media to tell me these stories, you know, it's crazy.
You know, not in the music, not in the music sense, more in the sports sense, but not in the music sense. But like Panik said, like when there's times when somebody will tell you, hey, that song, you talk about Writer's Block, Mrs. Manley, that song helped me, da 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 da. Like when someone says something like that, it don't really matter if, you know, Rakim has heard a Cap D. When somebody is like, I used to listen to that song, like that song helped me through this, or you know, that song reminds me of this in my life or something. Like that's touching. Like that's, you know, because there's songs that do that for me. There's songs that I'm like, you know, I used to play this song all the time in order to keep going and so for someone to have that from something that we created, you know, that's real.